and we're going to talk about 2022 dreams and goals with Linda Allen Hardisty of the Allen Hardisty Leadership Group. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking.
Well, so I just, first, because you have written articles for Forbes, or you've been recognized in Forbes, and I'm going to say, I knew her first. We went to high school. We graduated together. But congratulations.
Oh,
like
thank you.
Like the whole Tech Canada you're involved in, and just woo. And it's awesome to have you here.
Yeah, well, thank you for asking. I know good people know each other for a long time. We had good times in high school. Yeah, I'm a contributing writer for Forbes Coaches Council, which is great.
Yeah.
Really good to do that, and great colleagues on the Forbes Coaches Council to be able to do that. And I've been coaching leaders now since 2013.
Wow.
So really gained a lot of knowledge from being on that journey with so many people.
Right.
So it's great to be able to tell the story.
So I feel so minimal because we're going to talk about, at first I thought New Year's resolutions, but I think it's bigger than that. I mean, well, I don't know. Maybe we're going to talk.
Great. I love the fact that you talked about resolutions. We've kind of grown up with this whole concept of resolutions and the big word. And I think, it's almost been scary or daunting or hard. But if we think about it in terms of our dreams, our aspirations, our goals, there's a way that we can actually use this great time. I don't know what happens between December 31st and January 1st, but this is a time of year where there's new energy to think about what are the goals we want for the coming year, and where did we come from? What were our successes to get here?
You know what, and it's interesting, what were our successes? I don't think we celebrate those enough. We don't look back and go, because 2020 and 2021, a little tough for some people.
Yes.
But there were wins.
Oh, yeah.
As much as you lose something, there were some good wins, but we don't look back.
I know.
Is that normal?
It is normal, and more I'm working and knowing people who actually are starting to do more of that because they realize that's where the fuel and the energy come from. So that's actually the first step when you think about 2022 is to do exactly what you said. Let's take a look at where you came from, and this time of year is new energy. It's a time to reset, and it's kind of a second chance to go at things again. But yeah, the thing I always tell people, there's 5 tips to do this. The first one is a year in review. Take some time to think about not so much what you've done in the last 12 months, but where have you been? We've experienced a bizarre 12 months, and for some people it's been more challenging than others, but we've had a lot of successes in there. So I always tell people to do 3 things about last year. Think about what experiences have others had of you. Have you been someone's cheerleader, supporter, helper, someone's confidant? Did someone come to you to make a tough decision? Just think about what you've been to other people, and is that how you want them to think about you? So a lot of good things can come out of thinking about that. Good. And the other thing is I ask people to think about what was your greatest fail or mishit from 2021, and what was the learning for you? My mentor, Connie, used to say that all the time. I would be frustrated about something, or maybe something didn't work out, or I made a mistake, and she would say, well, what's the learning here, Linda? So I think that's a great way. What did you learn from something maybe not working out? Yeah. And the last thing to think about when you think about last year or this current year winding up, what muscle did you use a lot of? Did you listen better? Did you have a little bit more self-control? Did you learn how to catch up on your sleep? Were you a better team player on the job? What's a muscle that you found you really had to use a lot of? Because just like going to the gym or working out or eating healthy, it's not like we can do that and then all of a sudden say, oh, we're done. You got to keep it up. So those are 3 things to think about as you wind up the year. Okay. And I've got 4 tips on what you can do to think about for 2022. All right, let's get it going. Okay, so after you've celebrated yourself and answered those 3 questions, the next step is to really think about, take some time to think about the mindset and how you want to do something differently. So it's not that you did something wrong, but what would new look like? What would something different look like? And it usually takes about 30 days to build a new habit, and then 90 days to make that a permanent change. And I like to say that to people because focus on one thing at a time and really focus on it every day. Being honest with yourself is a third thing. Being honest can really fuel a lot of great energy, great conversation. Be really honest about why you want to make that change. Fourth, really visualize the steps to get there. Imagine yourself doing something tomorrow. Just don't imagine a year from now. So imagine what every day might look like, what it might be like to wake up and eat that salad for lunch instead of the burger. Think about that. If your long-term goal is a different weight, for example.
I want to stop you because when you talk about do one thing at a time, I think we get caught up in I gotta do everything, and then you don't get anything done, and then you feel like a failure, and I don't know if that's age, but I have slowed down to do one thing, and it's like I concentrate the 30 days and then the 90, and I slowed down to go, just change one thing, Lisa.
And what did you find when you did that?
Success. Because it was like, then I knew how to fix the one thing. If the one thing didn't work, then I knew that I had to fix it. And I'm particularly talking about some different things, but I changed one thing versus 5 things. It was like, okay, success, keep going, and then I'll change the second thing.
Awesome.
So
that is great. So people can take that right from you today. I think that's an awesome step. Great example. And age, I think it's because you're a learner. Maybe. So you're learning. And if you're open to do that, you learn. And the last thing, which I think you're doing this right now, write it down and tell somebody. And talk about it often throughout the year. Once a day or once a week or once a month. Write it down and talk to someone about that. You need support. The accountability of people who want to know how you did. And I think that's why a lot of people use coaching so much. It's because it's a process every month or every 2 weeks to talk about what worked, what didn't, what did you learn, what's next, what's the next step. And I think you did a great job.
That's funny. Could you say write it down?
Yeah.
Because all the books tell you to write it down. Well, sure, write it down, but you're saying talk about it.
Yeah, tell someone.
Because then you start to be accountable.
Yes.
And I think you just stay positive.
Yes.
Like you put it on your social media or with your friends, and you're like, yeah. Because we are doing okay.
We really are.
We really are.
Yeah.
You've had some bad days, but that's days of a month.
And people have learned a lot over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So give yourself some credit for it.
Oh, right.
Celebrate it. It's awesome.
Awesome.
So I think wind up the year thinking about those things, follow those 4 steps to get to next year. And I love you sharing your example. I think that's what it's all about. So that's great.
Okay, so counseling session for Lisa. We're good.
Coaching, all done. All done.
Right. Well, thank you for joining us, and you come back anytime and we can talk whatever. Leadership.
Awesome.
And people can get a hold of you on your website?
Yes, my website at ahleadership.com. Lots of information there, some articles. Awesome. And my email is there as well. So if you're looking for a leadership coach, have a conversation with me.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Linda.
Okay. Thank you,
All right.
Lisa.
Well, that was Linda Allen Hardisty of the Allen Hardisty Leadership Group, and her information is going to come up on the end. But we are done here for this week on Talk of the Town. I love having you every week, every day. If you see something you like, share it with your friends. And I think this is a great little interview that you can share with your friends. Say, hey, watch Talk of the Town with Lisa Peters. It comes up Monday to Friday, 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 5:30. So there you go. Watch. Now, we hope you have a great day, and you need to make it great yourselves. Enjoy.